On Christmas Eve, not too long ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. Okay, maybe I did. I did, however, breathe slowly and silently. Or maybe not. But I was listening to a sound I was afraid I'd never hear. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. Or it just could have been my imagination. It all started earlier today, when I played a game for the holiday season.
Hello, internet viewers! I'm the Fairly OddGamer. It's the holiday season, and Santa might be on his way very soon. So why not celebrate this festive time with a game that I'm sure will brighten up your spirits? What game, you may ask? Well, how about a game based on a successful movie based on a children's book? Oh, later than that. There we go! The Polar Express!
Based on the 1985 children's book by Chris Van Allsburg, it tells the story of a young boy on Christmas Eve being woken up by the sound of a train called the Polar Express, en route to the North Pole. And once it arrives, one lucky child will receive the first gift of Christmas from Santa himself. Nowadays, it's considered a classic Christmas story for children of all ages. It wasn't until years later that actor Tom Hanks and director Robert Zemeckis made a theatrical adaptation of the book built entirely on motion capture, which at the time was quite innovative. While it was mixed with critics, audience loved this movie. So much so that it would end up being re-released time and time again. I actually remember seeing the movie in the theater back in 2004, and I enjoyed the ever-loving heck out of it. The only downside was I hadn't seen the movie again until not too long ago. And even today, I still love this movie with its groundbreaking CGI, a whimsical soundtrack, and a plot that stands true to the original book.
And of course, with any video game tie-in at the time, you expect to have a video game tie-in. And in the case of the Polar Express, it did. So for this review, I'll be looking at the GameCube version. For those who are veterans of the channel, you probably know why. But is the video game tie-in as good, if not better, than the movie was based on? Well, hold on to your golden tickets because we're about to go on a ride you never imagined. Let's take a look.
After seeing that the movie is the property of Warner Brothers, we see that the game was published by THQ and developed by Blue Tongue Entertainment, best known for some of the Nicktoons games and even the Blob series. By the way, it's best to point out that the game was released 8 days before the movie's theatrical release. So those who played the game before seeing the movie may or may not have been spoiled. It all starts with an FMV cutscene ripped straight from the movie with narration from Tom Hanks himself.
On Christmas Eve many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed.
And like in the book, he hears the sound of a train coming by his house as the hero boy, named Chris by the way, quickly throws his robe on and is about to leave the house. By the way, having the book pages be the menus is pretty clever seeing that it was based on a children's book. So what's my name today? It's the Holly Jolly Gamer. And we start off the game with the first chapter, the title drop roll credits cliche, I mean the Polar Express. So let me ask Mr. Train Conductor, where does this train go?
Why, to the North Pole, of course! This is the Polar Express!
Man, it feels good to hear Tom Hanks' voice in this game. Oh, and we're on the train already. Strange jump cut, but okay then. He's joined by a girl named Hero Girl and a smart boy named, no joke, Know-It-All.
Do you know what kind of train this is?
It's a magic train.
Ah, I know it's a magic train. Actually, it's a Baldwin 284 S3 class Berkshire-type steam locomotive, built in 1931 at the Baldwin Locomotive Works.
Oh, so that's what Mr. Know-It-All from Sonic Adventure 1 grew up to be. As the kids gush over seeing Erpelsheimer's, we notice that there's a major difference from the game to the movie. Remember the Scrooge puppet? Unlike the movie in which he only appears one time, the game makes him the main villain. Why, you ask? You see, he thinks that children on the train should only get toys instead of believing in Santa. So because of this, he wants to prevent these kids from going to the North Pole by taking their tickets, resulting in the kids getting thrown off the train.
I'll be coming back to check your tickets shortly. Make sure you have them ready.
That's not Tom's voice, is it?
No, it's my brother Jim.
Yep, while Tom Hanks voices characters in the movies, all of Tom's roles in, well, everything else, are voiced by his brother Jim Hanks. Here's a little fun fact. Jim has been Tom's voice double since he voiced Woody in the video game tie-in of Toy Story from 1995. That's unbelievable. Thankfully, most of the voice actors from the movie reprised their roles from the game, such as Junie from Spy Kids as Hero Boy, Z from the Matrix movies as the Hero Girl, Mandark from Dexter's Laboratory as Know-It-All, and even Boomy from Avatar as Smokey and Steamer. Anyway, because most of these kids aren't able to find their tickets themselves, which includes Know-It-All, it's up to our hero boy to help these kids find their tickets. The first level of the game, Scrooge's Plan, in a way feels like a tutorial level. While playing as the hero boy, use the control stick to move, A to jump, R to flip the camera 180 degrees, Y to duck, and B to perform actions like throwing objects and kicking balls. Along the way, be sure to find coins scattered around the level, and finding 20 of them earns you an extra life in case you run out of health, represented by a gold heart on the top left corner of your screen. Also, hidden in most levels are toy parts, and collecting all of them unlocks bonus content for the game. What, you may ask? More on that later. But it won't be easy because Scrooge has manipulated toys and puppets to hinder our hero boy from achieving his goal of retrieving the lost tickets. They include bouncing jack-in-the-boxes and puppets on bicycles and even dunk baskets that can be closed by kicking a soccer ball first at the puppet and second at the lid. Anyway, the first ticket is hidden among one of these jack-in-the-boxes, all of which need to be wound up. And by the way, there's no way of knowing which box the ticket is in. So basically it's a guessing game to see which box contains a ticket. Otherwise, hello, jump scare! If at any point the kid gets scared without finding a ticket, you have to walk back to the kid, encourage him to be more brave, and try again until you find the ticket. On to the next card where you have to kick soccer balls at both the puppets and the lids to close the baskets. At least you have a radar that shows exactly where you need to kick the ball. That's good at least. We move on to the next card where we see Know-It-All, who knows exactly where his ticket is.
There's a gang of nasty puppets in there, and they've refused to give it back.
Seeing that hero boy is braver than a Know-It-All, you have to throw food at puppets hiding behind food tables. But do try to avoid food being thrown at you by puppets, which can be done by ducking under the tables in front of you. Eventually you defeat all the puppets as the hero boy hands Know-It-All the ticket that magically appeared from his hand. At the end of each level, you're given the option to save your progress. However, you can also save your progress during the level via the pause menu. Next level is the Lonely Boy, in which the hero girl warns our hero boy about the lonely boy that got left behind trying to catch a runaway train. Of course, the only way to stop is by pulling the emergency brake in the next car. But not until you stop the Scrooge puppet the same method done in the previous level by kicking the balls that are thrown at him 5 times. Oh yeah, did I mention? Hero boy can also take 5 hits before losing a life. After defeating Scrooge, our hero boy makes his way to the passenger car via F&B cutscene to pull the emergency brake, which is only used for emergencies. And according to them, landing the lonely boy on the train was the emergency. So why is the conductor in a frenzy about this?
Tonight is Christmas Eve, and in case you hadn't noticed, this train is on a very tight schedule. Now, young man, Christmas may not be important to some people, but it is very important to the rest of us.
Anyway, Hero Girl strikes up a deal with Hero Boy in which he has to find the other tickets while she tries to find a way to distract the conductor. The lost ticket starts off with a tennis match between you and a racket-wielding jack-in-the-box, and you have to get 5 points before the puppet does. While you're there, be sure to rack up some coins as well as a toy part that randomly pops up. He does find the next ticket in the kitchen, but the angry chef won't let anyone in. So the only way to retrieve the ticket in a situation like this is to sneak your way to the ticket and back without being detected by the chef. Kinda like Metal Gear Solid, only without the box. But if you do get caught by a chef, you not only have to start the section again from the beginning, but it also costs you a hit point. We move on to the next car where we find a girl trying to find a key, but happens to be scared of mice, even when they're wound up. It's pretty simple, really. All you do is catch the mice, no more than one at a time, and toss them into a basket. But you better be quick because you're under a short time limit. Taking care of all the mice earns you the key where the ticket is found, hidden in ice. By using a block breaker, he has to break ice box as well as gift boxes, which can contain either a single coin, a toy part, or the golden ticket. But try and not get hit by the ice if possible. There's another car that's like the food fight in the first level, but now it's with toys. Defeating all of them earns you the key to the next door, where another ticket is found. And like the others, it's hidden by possessed toys. With a giant mallet, you have to defeat each jack-in-the-box twice, whether it's open or bouncing around. Luckily, defeating them earns you a coin that can be useful for an extra life. And this is one in which I struggled with a lot because you have to defeat them at close range. Because of this, you're more than likely going to get hit by one of them. Eventually you defeat them all and make a mad dash to the golden ticket, which he gives to the key. But this makes Scrooge very angry. Oh yes. Very angry indeed.
But I've still got a trick up my sleeve. Let's see what happens to the girl when she realizes she's lost her ticket.
Wait, what?
How on earth did Scrooge snatch the ticket from the girl? In the movie, it was a gust of wind and turns of events that got the ticket back on the train and stuck in the vent. But here, Scrooge somehow takes her ticket and deliberately places the ticket by the vent. Why would you? Oh, never mind. The kids thank Hero Boy for helping them find their tickets and quickly return to their seats for the conductor to arrive. This leads to the next chapter, the rooftop. After our Hero Boy retrieves the Hero Girl's train ticket from the vent, he has to get to the Hero Girl before she gets thrown out of the train via conductor. And that's exactly what he does in Rooftop Rescue. However, in this game, you have to constantly move and avoid obstacles such as pipes, train lights, ice bridges, and even a tunnel. And once again, make sure you rack up some coins and some toy parts if possible. Thankfully, you have arrows to help you avoid said obstacles. Oh, and here's a little tip for you completionists out there. If at any point you miss any toy part, then you have no choice but to start the entire level again. This is why it's best to save via the pause menu every time you find a toy part. So apparently you don't have to cast the conductor and the Hero Girl because the level ends when you encounter the hobo on top of the train. By the way, don't even try to put stuff in your shoe, unless you want to put your business cards in there. Or if you're this guy. Anyway, the hobo tells the Hero Boy that they have to take a shortcut in order to get back to the train in time.
Do you believe that you can do this?
I guess I can do it. I can do it!
On the count of 3, we're gonna ski down the hill. You're gonna need to shift your weight to steer us clear of the rocks. 1, 2, 3!
Chasing the train as you play as the hobo with the Hero Boy on skis while avoiding obstacles along the way. Now the controls for this level are completely different, so listen up. While you still use the A button to jump, use the control stick to change direction and speed, whether by speeding up or slowing down, and X to do a speed boost. In my personal opinion, I really love this level. You can perform jumps, ski at high speeds, and even rack up some extra coins for extra lives. Even if you miss some toy parts or if you feel like you won't be able to make the train, then you can restart and possibly grind for more lives. So yeah, just ski down the mountain like a madman and hopefully jump onto the train. On to the next chapter, the engine room. After the Hero Boy makes it back on the train via rubble, he finds the Hero Girl in the engine room, only to have the engine melt down by, I don't know, the tires build up enough pressure to potentially explode? If the game has subtitles, then I understand what they're saying. Basically, our Hero Boy has to help the 2 engineers, named Smokey and Steamer, by throwing engine parts to the engineers to help fix the train. However, each train part is color-coded. The green parts go to Smokey, and the blue parts go to Steamer. While you're there, be sure to pick up some coins and hearts for full health, and avoid the falling coal while you're at it. Eventually, the engine does get fixed, but it results in the engine getting stopped again. I mean, it is an emergency after all. Only this time it's...
Caribou Crossing!
Yeah, that. As such, Smokey's moaning and screaming via beard yank actually makes the caribou leave the premises. By the way, I should point out that even though Andres Scott provided the voices of the engineers in the game, the motion capture and voice performance in the movie was done by...
Oh, look! That's Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle!
Ah yes, Michael Jeter. Not only was he best known for, well, this, but he's also an accomplished actor on stage and screen like The Green Mile. However, the Polar Express ended up being Jeter's last ever film role before he died of an epileptic seizure. Although, wouldn't it be funny if Smokey's The Long Good Moaning was replaced with this?
Oh! Oh!
Seeing that the conductor knows how to resolve situations like this, they believe that our Hero Boy can help out the engineers as they stoke the flame. It's pretty much a repeat what I do kind of thing, in which the Hero Boy has to do the same movements the engineers do. But if you mess up at any point, then there's no need to worry. Just try again. Eventually they get the train moving again, but there's one small problem. Because the girl forgot to give the conductor her ticket, she would have no choice but to be ejected from the train. Not unless our Hero Boy can do something about it.
Here I come to save the day.
This ticket appears to be valid. Ahem. Well, in that case, all right then. Time for us to head back.
Moving on to the next chapter, back on board. While the Hero Boy and Hero Girl try to get back to their seats, it turns out that there are more toys to either avoid or defeat.
Toys. Toys! Why does it have to be toys?
Some challenges are the same as previous levels, such as throwing toys at jack-in-the-boxes and catching wound-up mice. But there's also a new challenge in which our hero boy pushes boxes on an icy floor, giving Hero Girl some room to skate her way to the other door. For this one, it's best to leave some room in the center, making it easier in the process. While in the kitchen, they hear what sounds like an explosion, which I'm really hoping it isn't.
What can it be? I think it's that nasty toy who stole our tickets.
Well, we're about to find out in Scrooge's Last Stand, where we see a giant Scrooge puppet, this time with strings attached. And Scrooge says that in order to get to the North Pole, they'll have to get through him first.
And I don't believe you can do it.
You're just a bitter old toy. Christmas isn't about toys. It's about giving and sharing.
There's no Christmas without toys.
Or in my case, presents. I happen to be known for stealing them.
Christmas cannot happen without me.
Well, if it weren't for him, then there'd be no Christmas Carol. The boss fight against Scrooge has to avoid shockwaves from Scrooge's pounding fists to the floor, grabbing a snowball, and throwing them at Scrooge twice. One at Scrooge's face, and the other at his golden heart hidden inside his shirt pocket. And just like last time, it takes 5 hits to consider him defeated. And wait a minute, I just remembered something. In the movie, the Scrooge puppet was only seen one time being puppeteered by the hobo from earlier. So assuming it's him controlling the puppet here, wouldn't that technically make the hobo the main villain then? Think about it. He steals everyone's tickets in order to prevent them from getting to the North Pole, and also the hobo may or may not be trusted at all. Who would trust a hobo anyway? Eventually, our hero boy defeats the Scrooge puppet and it fades out of existence. And as a reward, they're offered with refreshments in the dining car. And if you've seen the movie, then you probably know what happens next. But before doing so, the hero boy is once again asked for assistance, this time serving hot chocolate to the guests. Yeah, remember the movie where the boy helped serve hot chocolate to the guests? That was great. Now, the hot chocolate scene is one of the most, if not the most, memorable scenes in the entire movie with its catchy song.
Hot, hot, yeah, we got it. Hot, hot, oh, we got it. Hot, hot, yeah, we got it. Oh, hi, gamer. Hot chocolate.
Wow, Hux. I didn't know you liked hot cocoa.
Oh, come on, dude. Almost everyone loves a delicious cup of hot chocolate on a freezing cold day. Oh, man, that's so delicious.
Sure does. Also, it's funny you mention it. I'm actually reviewing the tie-in game of the Polar Express. And yes, they do serve hot cocoa.
That's awesome, dude. Does it still have that catchy theme from the movie? By the way, I love that movie as a pup.
Well...
Up, down, left, spin.
Up, left, right, roll.
Bogus, dude.
riveting if you ask me. In fact, why couldn't it be like this?
Pick up, put down, pick up, roll.
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I hear Santa's sleigh coming. Probably best get going. Later, dude.
After serving all the hot cocoa to the passengers, the hero girl gives 2 cups to 2 people. The hero boy for all the hard work, and the lonely boy in the observation car.
5 minutes to midnight. We're almost at the North Pole.
Hey, what gives? It was 5 minutes till midnight 4 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Next chapter, the North Pole. They finally arrive at the North Pole, only to have the lonely boy still left behind in the train. So the hero boy and girl try to convince the lonely boy to see Santa, only to have the hero boy accidentally set a runaway car from the train. Similar to the skiing hobo level, you control the train by changing the direction and speed, whether to avoid obstacles or collecting coins and toy pieces, and a speed boost if needed. New to this game are wrenches, as seen on the bottom right corner of your screen, which gives you more health in the vehicle stages. Even the level ends the same way as the ski level, with the car making a long jump off a trail track ramp as the tram car takes them to the North Pole station. The only thing I remember about this scene is a blaring naughty kid alert, and of course this.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
So the elves take a roller coaster to the big man, and the 3 kids go out to follow them. In order to open a gate getting you closer to the elves, You have to steer the tubes to each color gate in the correct order. But here's the catch. All these gates are timed, and each correct gate gains you more time. And sometimes controlling the tubes can be a bit iffy at times, because sometimes you'll miss the gate to go through and can even run out of time because of it. This has to be done 6 times with an average of around 5 or 6 gates per round. 6 rounds of gates and 34 gates later, and we head off to the 6th and final chapter of the game, Race to Santa. They arrive at the sorting room where the gifts are sorted out, but the lonely boy, who now we know is named Billy, wants to see what he got from Santa. Basically, all you have to do is travel down the conveyor belt and pull some levers to change the direction of the conveyor belt in order to progress through a level. However, if you manage to time your jumps right, then you might be able to gather some coins and or a toy part in secret areas from doors or this warp pipe knockoff. Okay, this one section that's close to the end of the level, I can't even imagine how many times I've tried to transition from one conveyor belt to another by jumping. And if you're wanting to fully complete this game, this is something you're going to have to go through. So after escaping the treacherous conveyor belts, they slide down to a pile of presents inside the sack. Luckily, they find out that in order to make their way out of the sack, they can use these presents as a ladder to climb their way to the top. Some of them allow you to bounce up to higher ground, and sometimes as moving platforms.
Now, what would a platform game be without platforms?
Yeah, thanks, Bubsy. However, they must do so while avoiding bouncing presents, swing through vines, and even traverse through presents that sink if you land on them. Also, if you somehow fall off even when you're so close to the end, then you have no choice but to painfully backtrack your way up. It's not a challenging level per se, but it can get irritating if you don't know what you're doing. Eventually, they make their way out of the sack as they encounter an elf general voiced by Roger Rabbit who... Wait, where did Know-It-All come from? The last time we saw him was when they arrived at the North Pole. Did he sneak back into the train with the others? Well, the movie does explain why.
What are you doing here? Same as you. I'm checking on my Christmas presents. I want to make sure I'm getting everything on my list. All I found was one present, and all I had was a bunch of stupid underwear.
Since the elf general knew they were in the sack, he needs someone to guide his Zeppelin back to the North Pole as it makes one final delivery, which is the last level of the game, by the way. So it's up to our hero boy to help guide the Zeppelin to Santa while keeping his bag intact and without crashing it. So try to steer clear of obstacles like trains, bridges, boats, hot air balloons, buildings. Basically everything in this level causes it to crash. You can use the control stick to guide the Zeppelin, A to brake, and X to use the speed boost. And similar to the runaway car, you can gain more health via wrenches. What makes this level difficult, in my personal opinion, is controlling the Zeppelin. There's no way you can tell whether you're clear from an obstacle or not unless you run into it. Sometimes you have to guide the Zeppelin through narrow passageways in which one touch causes it to crash. And you know what else? You have to make it back within 5 minutes. But if at any point you do lose a life, then you do respawn a few feet from where you last died. Thank goodness for that. As they get closer to the North Pole, the sack falls loose with the kids inside as they get escorted by...
Oh, look! That's Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle! All right, you stowaways. Party's over.
Yes! They even kept Steven Tyler in the game! Take those video game tie-in of Finding Nemo! We then see Santa and his sleigh leave the North Pole with the Christmas lights on, everybody's surprised, and that's it. Wait, what? It just ends like that? I mean, it did come out before the movie, so it might have been done to help not spoil anything. Maybe at the end of the game's credits, it should say, watch the movie to get the full context. At least that'd make more sense.
But anyway, that concludes the story mode for this game. However, there's still bonus content to uncover.
Remember what I said some time ago about collecting all the toy parts? As previously mentioned, collecting all the toy parts unlocks bonus content. And what do they include? That's it? That's what I've waited long and hard for? It's just a series of minigames that I've already played in the main game. Jeez, what a ripoff. But if you do manage to fully complete the game by collecting all the toy parts and all the levels, which I did, then you do get rewarded by watching FMV scenes from the movie as well as listening to some of the game's music. It's rewarding, yes, but it's really not something to get excited about.
Nothing except bragging rights, folks. So, what did I think of the Polar Express overall?
While it does follow the movie from start to finish, the overall execution just wasn't very good. It would have been better if it had one or two things, whether it's adding the bell or, if possible, giving Scrooge a better objective as a villain instead of, well, getting axed off early on. Whereas instead of just preventing the kids from getting to the North Pole, just have Scrooge find a way to prevent these kids from finding the true meaning of Christmas, or believing in Santa. And yet, we never see Santa at all in this game, except for when he rides up on his sleigh at the end. But other than that, that's it. And even some of the main elements such as the bell and who gets the first gift of Christmas are non-existent in the game. If the game had to add these elements, then I personally believe that it would have been more faithful not only to the movie it was based on, but also to the original source material the movie was based on. Graphic-wise, it looks pretty bland. The models look kind of ugly, except for the conductor, and the game doesn't scream out good level design, even though most of the levels look similar to the movie. As for the overall gameplay, it's sort of hit and miss. I actually get a kick out of the skiing level only because you can rack up more coins, meaning more lives you can get. The other vehicle levels feel a bit iffy with its stiff controls, especially with the last two levels of the game. Playing as the hero boy is okay, but again, the stiff controls kind of ruin it for me. I felt the overall game is kind of rushed, and not because the overall game is short. It can last up to about an hour and a half, which is about as long as the movie itself. While most of the voice actors reprise the roles from the movie, the overall music isn't really memorable to me. It does have a Christmas feel to it, but it's not something I want to listen to during the holidays. Overall, the Polar Express is definitely not a game I recommend playing during the time of year. It's not the worst tie-in game I've ever played, because at least it does tie in to what it was based on. Some of it. But I just did not get as much enjoyment out of it in comparison to the movie. This is one train you definitely want to miss out on.
I have read the book, and I have seen the movie. Both of them work in their own right. The video game tie-in, on the other hand, does not. It's not even worth the time, effort, or money to put into. So unless you're really curious about it, just don't even bother with this game. And that's all I really have to say about it because, ugh, man, it is getting late. I should probably get some sleep before Sam finds out I'm awake.
Throughout the years, the game was not well received, unlike the original book, as well as the movie it was based upon. They would grow tired of the cash-in game, and would either read the original book or even watch the movie in every way possible. And while this year had its ups and downs, I heard something that got me so excited, I couldn't get back to sleep.
Psst! Gamer! Hey, Gamer! Wake up!
Hux, it's late. Shouldn't you be in bed by now?
Well, only for a few minutes. Nice jammies, by the way.
Thanks. But why do you have to wake me now?
Because I want to show you something. I think you might like it.
What is it? No way! Are you kidding me?
Would I ever kid? I don't think so. Merry Christmas, Gamer!
Thanks, Hux. Wow, 1,000 subscribers. What a great way to end the year.
I knew you'd like it. Anyway, I'll let you go back to sleep. Nighty night, Gamer.
Night, Hux. So about a month ago, I managed to reach the all-important 1,000 subscriber milestone. And honestly, I can't thank you guys enough for it. So because of this, I'll be working on a special video to help celebrate the reaching of over 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And that is what I call a Christmas miracle. I'm the Fairly OddGamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And I hope you have a happy and merry holiday season. Take care, everyone.
How's it going, dudes? Huxgamr here. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Well said, Hux. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and some of my character buddies on TikTok. And if you'd like, you can have one of my character buddies do a short video for you via video commission. Links to all of those in the description below. And so, without further ado, I wish that one of my character buddies finish out the video.
Oh, hello there. I, the Grinch, have come to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Not! But while I steal presents, you may feel free to join the Patreon page where you can interact with fans and channel members, have your name in the credits, and watch the review before anyone else. So to Luke Jeffers, I'm sure you won't be as Grinchy as I am. So please be a Patreon supporter of the Fairly OddGamer. Otherwise, I'll be coming to each of your houses and steal all of your presents that Santa gave you.